Alright, so I promised you guys a video on showing you some stuff about how I built this head. Still having some problems with it, so I'm going to hold off on that. I got a video of it in flight. I had a servo that locked up and pulled the heli nose down. You'll see it in the video. Ended up doing a lot of damage to the head, so I'd rather fix it and then give you a show on that. I want to show you something simple I did though. I was flying at night and having trouble seeing this thing, so I had these little LED lights with this variable switch on it, or this little two-way switch, and it's got the computer resistor board built in here, so it's all one unit. So one that I ended up doing is I wanted to make this thing so I could see it, and it turned out that these were green LEDs. So here's what I did. I took an old servo wire, and I just removed the signal wire off, and I left my power and my earth and ground on it. And then I soldered one side of my power, positive one in here, and the other side coming out, running into one leg of my LED wires. And then I just carried the ground to my ground wire, so it just looks something like this. Then I took soldering iron and I just melted a hole right here and one right here, and inserted the LEDs from the back side, just a little dab of glue in there to retain them. I was going to use hot glue, but didn't have any. I'm glad I didn't. This is pretty flimsy plastic, so I ended up just using a little dab of Gorilla Glue. And I left it really long, and the reason I did was so that when I remove the canopy, I'll have plenty of room to work on the heli, because this is going to be attached, and I'll show you how I end up doing this. So first thing you want to do is remove 2 screws in your landing gear and one in the back. Just take those 3 out, and I'll show you why. Then I took, just want to take my servo wire, and I'm going to feed it right down here to the front of the frame. And out the bottom. So you have something like this. Comes out just right there on the bottom. And what you want to do is just run this wire here under the ESC and then under this skid. Just lift the skid up and run it under the bottom. So you end up with your wire coming out the bottom of the frame, under the ESC, and then under this skid. So it comes up right here. And then what I chose to use for my power source was the gear channel. It doesn't really matter, there's signal pins on it. All I'm using is the power off of it. Alright, so the next thing I want to do is I wanted a good spot to fasten my my switch, and that's where this front skid comes in play. So all I did was I just took the switch, take the switch, just place it under the skid just like this, and when you put the 2 screws back into the skid, it will retain the switch. I'll go ahead and put those back in. easier if you kind of get them started a little bit before you position your switch in there. So just position your switch. It finds it a good spot right there. Take your finger, you can flop it off and on. When you tighten down your landing skids, it also secures the switch like so. Pretty simple. It's clean, it's up out of the way, using the servo in the back. And I'm just going to power this on, show you what it looks like. Yeah. The only difference you're going to have is that with that switch under that skid, the little tab on your canopy will go under the skid now instead of through it, but it really is, once the battery's in, it's really secure. Alright, so when you want to cut it on, all you have to do is reach down here. When you're flying at night, flip the switch, and there you have it. It's pretty, actually it's pretty bright. So there it is. The new LED headlights. Cut them off in the day when you're not using it. Come on at night when you need to see it. Try this video one more time. My Blade 200 SRX out here, and just rebuilt the head, and we installed some cool headlights. So gonna cut these headlights on real quick. See what they look like. Yeah, pretty cool. LED headlights worked out okay. Let's spool it up, see how she does. Everything's running smooth as butter, which is good.